Orpita Chatterjee and also to Sony Live for giving me Sheila Bose's character. Thanks to them for believing in me. Sheila also was very modern. She started her journey as an entertainer, but she always knew the end goal. Jazz City, thanks to Jazz City and the entire brilliant team that worked on it. The show has some really nice jazz compositions. आप please मेरा career graph देख लीजिए. I've done a lot of other films.
So firstly, big congratulations for that city.
Thank you.
I want
Thank you,
I
Shweta.
want to know
Thank you
from
so
your
much.
side, when you got this project, was it always yes? Because whatever we saw now till 3 or 4 episodes, you got a character which have different shades. You got an opportunity where you got a chance to show different sides of yours as an actor. So when you got this project, how you reacted firstly?
I jumped a little in joy. Also, no, there's a very, I remember
Yeah,
I auditioned it for the first time. I was in Bombay at that time. And audition ke time, no, I got only this one page with that scene. And I was not briefed that much. I knew the little bit of it. At that point, I only knew that Sony Live is going to be producing the show. And I didn't
yeah,
even know who's going to direct the show. Okay. I had no
true.
clue. I just knew that Shomik had written it. Then after my audition, I kept on following up till a time
Yeah,
I forgot. I was like, okay, nahi mila hai. I'm sure they have taken someone else. So it's fine. And I moved on with my
yeah,
life. But then suddenly, after a couple of months, I got this call and then a message from Shomik Sen himself that, yeah, you are
yeah,
my Sheila. And I think I'll always be eternally grateful to Shomik Sen, to Orpita Chatterjee, and also to Sony Live for giving me Sheila Bose's character. Thanks to them for believing in me. And
yeah.
as you very rightly said, that yeah, the character has shades, it has less, but also you have to
True.
understand that Jazz City is a show. It's about personal moral conflict set against the historical backdrop of 1970s.
Yeah,
So women of that time, Sheila, especially if I have to talk about her, she is somebody who's stubbornly compassionate despite different stages of her life. There are certain layers to it, but the one thing that stays throughout is the compassion and that need to help.
true,
That
true.
stays throughout. And Sheila also was very modern. Um, she started her journey as an entertainer, but she always knew the end goal is to help. She was Calcutta's
Yeah,
helping heart, but on the same time, she was constantly trying to help. She was also the helping hand to those who were affected across the borders.
true,
She
true.
knew that she could use her connections to just help, to reach out. And that is only possible when somebody is very much aware of what's happening around her in the 1970s, but also she was also vulnerable, vulnerable to, and that's only possible when someone, it deeply believes in ideals.
Yeah. I want to know from your side, as you said, your character is so more vulnerable. अगर आज के जमाने में कोई ऐसा आर्टिस्ट vulnerable हो या जो अपनी आवाज ऑडियंस के सामने रखे विदाउट एनी फिल्टर, उसको उस एक्टर्स को काफी सारी टैग के साथ नाम जोड़ा जाता है. How you see as an actor now and an artist
I didn't quite. What is the
when
tagline that you're talking about?
regarding
As
if
actors,
you
I think as an artist, I am also vulnerable. You cannot emote. You
yeah,
cannot do your job until and unless you allow yourself to be vulnerable. Until and unless
true,
you are vulnerable, until and unless you are honest. How will you
yeah,
convince these people? You have to be honest to your craft. You have to be convinced with with your job, right? With the role that you're
true,
given. Otherwise, it's not possible for you to convince uh,
hmm,
multiple people who will be watching you on their screens, right? And I didn't
yeah.
quite understand the tagline that you were talking about. Can you please explain?
लाइक आप सभी जानते हैं कि जैसे कंगना वोकल होती है तो उससे अलग अलग टैग के साथ नाम जोड़ा जाता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैंने एक्टर्स जो है जो अपने थॉट्स आगे रखते हैं तो उस एक्टर्स को काफी अलग नजरिए से भी देखा जाता है। हाउ यू सी?
Look, it's each to her own, each to his own, or each to her own. Of course, we as people, let alone actors, as people, we are all entitled to having our own opinions, right?
True.
But it's important, like, if you're bringing, and we, of course, I am not going to deny the fact that we are given a certain platform where we can reach out and talk about issues for the betterment of people. And I have to now circle back to Sheila. She also very much used her privilege, and she was eternally grateful of using her privilege. And she knew that she could use her privilege to help others. In a similar way, as actors, we can use our platform to bring betterment, right? Opinions are different. It's about voicing the concerns and just bringing in betterment. We're talking about
True.
humanity, we're talking about help, and this is universal. It's a human instinct.
या या एक और चीज बताना चाहूंगी, ये थ्रू आउट द शो वी हैव सीन दैट कि ऑर्केस्ट्रा को काफी अच्छी तरह से दिखाया गया, किस तरह से आर्टिस्ट ऑर्केस्ट्रा के परफॉर्मेंस हर एक दिन के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर करते हैं। उस चीज के लिए आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे, वो आपको कितना एक्साइट किया? बिकॉज आई थिंक हमारे भी बड़े लोग हैं वो इस बात से कनेक्ट कर पाते हैं कि ऑर्केस्ट्रा कितना इम्पोर्टेंट होता था, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट एंटरटेनमेंट सोर्स ड्यूरिंग दैट डे।
Jazz City is, of course, the name of the show, but Jazz City also in the show happens to be a jazz club of that time set in the heart of Calcutta, which is Park Street. Even now, if you come to Calcutta, we still have a lot of jazz clubs. And we have to constantly, when we are talking about jazz, when we are talking about Park Street, and when we are talking about 1970s, it was a different time, different era altogether. Of course, I was not born, but whatever little knowledge I have, it is from, hearsay. It's from my grandmother, a little bit from my father, and some films of that time. But imagine, and Jazz City, thanks to Jazz City and the entire brilliant team that worked on it, our set would transport us to 1970s. And since we're talking about orchestra and we're talking about Park Street Jazz, imagine an entire street filled with restaurant jazz clubs where you would when you're just taking a stroll, there's music spilling, and there were restaurants like Trinkas, there was Moolah Rue, there was Blue Fox, then performers like Carlton Kitto was performing, Pam Crane was performing, Louis Banks. And at that point, Calcutta was described as, in fact, Park Street was described as having a suaveness with
या
an underlying sense of excitement. Of course, I
ट्रू।
was not present in that era, but when I was playing Sheila, or when I would, as Sauraseni also, when I would just enter the set, thanks to the detailing from the revolving disc. I don't know whether you've watched the show. If you haven't, please do. There was this revolving place to sing for the orchestra to
या
perform. Then the bar counter and the detailing, as I was telling you, even if there was a small prop like a pen, our the team made sure that it was dated in 1970s.
ट्रू।
Yeah.
ट्रू।
So yeah, and Jazz City also, the show has some really nice jazz compositions, and the show also has some Bangla, yeah, the Bangla songs to them.
How this feel as an actor when you're getting a good chance to perform and give a best from your side, and you're performing different genre also, different styles of we can say shades of Sauraseni we are seeing now. So आप किस तरह से describe करना चाहेंगे जिस तरह back to back you're doing the projects now?
It's an actor's delight. As actors, the best thing about us is we get to be somebody new every day in each project, or I get to be somebody else. And because
Yeah.
it's creative, there's you can always learn something new. You can always go on exploring, and I'm really glad that I have had the opportunity of exploring various shades, and I hope that I get to explore myself even more. And Sheila Bose has given me a role that'll stay with me. It's very often in life that you get a character who inspire you to become more like her.
True. True. Which genre is left from your side that you want to explore, and what
Chastity in itself,
makes
I
you?
can't categorize it to one genre because
Yeah.
it has music. You can call it a musical. You can call it a love story. You can call it a spy espionage themed. You
Yeah.
can call it action. You can call it just revolution centric. You can call it. I mean, you cannot block it
Okay.
in a specific segment because I think Chastity as a show has such a broad spectrum. You cannot confine it to one genre.
तो as we know कि आप बैक टू बैक ओटीटी भी कर रही है, ओटीटी एक्सप्लोर कर रही है, सो कैन यू से अब क्या आपके लिए स्क्रीन टाइमिंग इक्वली इम्पोर्टेंट है जितना कैरेक्टर इम्पोर्टेंट होना चाहिए? द स्क्रीन टाइम इफेक्ट्स यू, अगर वो स्क्रीन टाइम छोटा भी होगा तो क्या आप कोई भी रोल एक्सेप्ट करेंगी?
आप प्लीज मेरा करियर ग्राफ देख लीजिए. आई हैव डन अ लॉट ऑफ अदर फिल्म्स और characters which I don't think about the screen time as an actor. You look at the script and you see, of course, number one, good project is the most important thing. The story, the content is important. Number two, yes, as actors we are greedy. We are going to look at it कि मेरा character क्या है. Right? I don't care. Honestly, I really have never cared. It has never come to my mind about the screen timing of it. It's important that when
हाँ.
you look at the script and when you read the character, you see what are the things. When you take your character out, what changes are it making to the script? Could the show still go
Yeah.
on without that character present? Then don't do it. And also, if you think that, yeah, this character is adding something to it, even though it's for a couple of seconds, but it's adding
Yeah.
something to it, it's adding to the meat, of course I'm going to do it. It's about
True.
getting a character that's going to excite me, that's something that's going to help me explore my craft as an actor.
ट्रू. लास्टली वन मैसेज फॉर द ऑडियंस जो इतना ज्यादा प्यार हमेशा आपको देती रहती है, स्पेशली ईच एंड एवरी प्रोजेक्ट वट एवर यू डू, तो क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
Keep on, please. मैं कोशिश करती रहूंगी. I'll keep on working harder and harder. I'll really try to better my craft. बस आप प्यार देती रहिए. Just keep at it, all right? And also, Jacity is now streaming on Sony Live. Go and give it a watch.
थैंक यू सो मच एंड ऑल द बेस्ट.